Welcome, Hudson Valley. This is Conor Walsh, host of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. This week on In Touch, we speak with Toni Cesiro from Created with Love Boutique. Created with Love Boutique combines Toni's two loves of being hands-on creatively and rock and roll. Toni shares several of her incredible stories working for some of rock and roll's heaviest hitters to how she's supporting local vendors and creatives here in the Hudson Valley. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded conversation between Toni Cesiro and myself here on In Touch. I'm so proud to announce that In Touch has received another 2 Excellence in Broadcasting Awards from the New York State Broadcasting Association for 2024. In Touch received the award for Outstanding Public Affairs Program or Series for the second year in a row. Not just that, but In Touch also received the award for Outstanding Editorial/Commentary. This recognition would not be possible without all of our phenomenal guests that we learn from and grow with every single week, and of course, you, the listener. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just found us, thank you for taking part in the conversation and staying in touch with what's going on in the Hudson Valley. Because of the awesome success of In Touch over the last year, we are expanding. We're launching a new spin-off series under the In Touch umbrella called Townsquare Spotlight. These spotlights focus on amazing celebrities and leaders passing through the Hudson Valley who are making an impact in pop culture. You can check out our latest spotlights with award-winning jazz musician and educator Hayes Greenfield, Team USA Paralympic swimmers Jessica Long and Haven Shepard, and New York Stage and Film artistic director Liz Carlson, wherever you listen to In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We have a great episode for you guys today and a great friend of the station. If you've gone to any event that Townsquare has ever had, you've seen Toni around. She's helping out. She's mingling. She's networking. She is somebody who's around in this community. She loves music. She loves events. She loves community. She loves helping out people, and we're really happy to have her on today. Toni, how are you?
Hey, Conor, how are you?
It's really
a pleasure to be here.
I know. It's great to actually have you behind the mic, and we've worked so many things together. Last thing I saw you at was WRRV Sessions.
Yeah.
And it says, like, Toni, we got to actually put the date down.
Or we're out in a field somewhere going, hey, hello. Yep. This is wonderful. It's up close and personal. Conor, you're awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it. And so are you, Toni. And one of the first things that we really want to talk about when we talked about getting you on to In Touch, we wanted to talk about Created with Love Boutique. Yes. And it's a really awesome thing that you have going on. You're putting your two loves together of music and business and just being creative in general. I think it's really cool. I see your earrings that you're wearing right now, and I'm sure they're yours, the guitar string earrings, right?
Previously played guitar string.
Previously
played well guitar string.
There you go.
Oh, I almost feel like I can channel my Allison Steele voice.
Oh, go
the
for
night
it.
Bird. But we are in the middle of the afternoon, so I don't know if that's going to work. And every once
this
in a while,
will air in the evening.
Oh, will it?
Yes.
Well, maybe I should stay with it. But every once in a while, my Long Island accent comes out, so I have to really be conscious about that. All right.
Well, you're native. You're from there. There's always going to be a space in your heart. But yeah, could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you eventually came to Created with Love Boutique?
So I've always worked in the music business out on Long Island. Like I said, there's all these great music venues, all these great clubs, and I'm a teen of the 70s. You know, my first concert was Led Zeppelin and Bad Company. I know.
So good.
So now that you know how old I am. But
hey, my first concert was REO Speedwagon, Journey, and Styx all together.
Okay. So Kevin Cronin.
Yep.
But he was great. Yes, so my first concert was Led Zeppelin on from, Long Island and Nassau Coliseum, and they had some great music venues. And Speaks was one of them. So I was always a rocket chick from Long Island and moved up to the Hudson Valley. And I always made jewelry. One night, actually, we were just talking about the Falcon. I was just sitting at the Falcon watching some of my friends perform, and one of my guitarist friends broke a string. After the show, I said, hey, Jim, can I have that string? And he said, well, what do you want this string for? Oh, he said, oh, never mind, Toni. I know you're going to make something out of it. The guitar string jewelry line was born. And it just took off. And so then I went from guitar string bracelets to guitar string earrings. Now I make these really cool guitar string pendant necklaces that are very popular. And of course, I use my gemstones. So my tagline is guitar string jewelry and gemstones that rock. And I had a boutique in Wappingers for a good 10 years. And then, of course, we went through COVID. So now I'm online, createdwithloveboutique.com. And then you could see me at all the wonderful Townsquare events that we do. And so, yeah, I brought my two worlds together. I've met so many people throughout my musical career. I just came off tour with Richie Scarlett, which is from the Hudson Valley. We were in Europe, 3 different countries. And prior to that, Corky Lang of Mountain.
Oh, nice.
But back in the day, I worked with or was affiliated with Aerosmith and Twisted Sister. So it's in my heart,
Absolutely.
REO Speedwagon, you mentioned earlier, they were awesome. And, so I just kind of brought my two worlds together. And that's that. But and in between all of that, I was a ballerina.
Yes, you were just telling me that right beforehand. I had never known that about you. I knew the rocker side and everything, but I never knew about the ballet
it was
side.
Point shoes by day and platforms by night.
That's a tagline right there. I like that.
I know. I should use that, right?
Yeah, no, that's good. So, yeah, what was that like in the ballerina world? You said that you started when you were 5 years old, and you even taught around here, too.
Yeah, so I started when I was 5 and did some, of course, the dance recitals and, that as a child. But then as I got older, and I took it a little bit in college, and then we did some professional performances on Long Island. And then I moved up here, I don't know, 18, 20 years ago, and started teaching at Hudson River Performing Arts for a good maybe 8 years. And but the body gets older, and I can't dance anymore. So, I dance in the shower.
I'm sure there's plenty of dancing, but I'm sure
everybody sings in the shower. I dance in the shower.
There you go. Just don't slip.
I know, I gotta watch
Just don't
myself.
slip.
But anyway, so so I was doing the ballerina thing during the day and kicking off my point shoes and putting on the platform shoes and the Long Island bimbo ponytail on the side of the head. Okay.
I love the styles.
But anyways, I've been so blessed and grateful that I've had so many different opportunities in my life to work with so many different people. I didn't even tell you at one point I worked at this very prestigious country club on Long Island, part-time just to make money. But I met Joe Namath.
Oh, wow.
And Dan Quayle and John Elway and all these great sports people that played golf. There was a big golf club. So that was a whole nother portion of my life. That was great.
Oh, that's fun.
But, yeah, it's just to go out and do everything you can.
Life's short. You got to experience everything. It was funny, actually, right before you came in, I was talking with our president, Jason, just in passing, and he asked how I'm doing. I was like, it's almost the weekend, looking forward to that. And he just stops and is like, no, don't live your life looking ahead.
For the weekend, yeah.
It's like, live your life for today.
Day, yes.
Exactly. And, I'm not even saying it to be downtrodden on today. I just have some stuff that I'm looking forward to this weekend.
There you go.
But it's just like one of those things. It's one of those reminders where it's like, yeah, it's like appreciate the right now.
And you realize that as you get older, so part of also my business, Creative with Love, was to bring people together to do what they wanted to do. So I was very influential, and thank you, I'll pat myself on the back, in helping some of these handcrafters and small business owners grow their business.
Yeah.
And now we've become like a little community. In fact, I was also talking with you about the Kiwanis Club of Southern Dutchess County, and that is an organization. It's national and global. We help children and underprivileged, it used to be underprivileged children. It's all children and disabled adults. But the members of my group have really come together as a community, and we're all small business owners.
Yeah.
So we get to share how we can help each other. And when you hear, opening up a small business, it's a scary thing.
It is.
But just do it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you get to lose? So you close your business if you need to. But if you don't, you just keep plugging away. It's wonderful. And you take it into different directions. One of the things I love about my small business is I can create, if this isn't working, let me create something else. If I'm not selling enough of these, I can figure out something else and create something that everyone has a gift. Everyone has a gift. You just have to know how to channel your gift. But so the Kiwanis Club, getting back to that, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
We come together and we help the community. So we just did a craft fair at Paula's Runway Cafe. She's
beautiful.
She's one of our members. Thank you, Paula. And we raised money and collected non-perishable foods for the Castle Point Veterans Hospital in Beacon, along with the Manny Bacon American Legion in East Fishkill. And so they come, and the veterans were there, and the children were meeting the veterans, and everyone was bringing canned goods. We've done a huge music festival on the Hudson Valley Regional Airport grounds. We did that 2 years in a row. We had music all day long and local businesses. We also do Kiwanis in pajamas.
I love that one. You were telling me about that. Go into that more. It's such a cute event.
It is really cute, especially when you see adults wearing, like their, what do you call
Please
it?
tell me real pajamas, right?
The feety pajamas.
Oh, my God.
With the zipper,
Yes. My friend is known for those. Like, if we have, like, things at parties at each other's houses, he'll show up in random onesies just to screw around with us. He's around the holidays, he has a reindeer one that he loves to pull out.
So it's one thing for an adult to see another adult in pajamas, but when the kids come in and see these adults dressed in all these fun pajamas, it's fun. But the most important is that we collect pajamas. We collected each year over 800 pairs of pajamas for the 2 local hospitals here at Christmas time for the children. Yeah. And then we've done a toy drive. We're going to be over at Lamar's Farm October 5th doing a fall festival collecting school supplies for the school districts, local school districts. We just presented ourselves, the Kiwanis, to the PTA at Kinry Elementary School. So we're reaching out to the community to help your children, Yeah. It's a no-brainer organization. So we have a lot of fun doing that. And because I'm in the music business, when we need to raise money, I'm like, hey, let's do a music festival.
Who's going to perform for this? Who can we get? Things along those lines. And you're not just like simply a member of this. You're the president of the Kiwanis Club here in the Hudson Valley, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive all in its own, too. So all the
Somebody's
ways.
got to take
Somebody's
charge.
got to do it, right? Absolutely. So why not Toni?
But I have a great support group, within my club helping me.
I'm sure.
We've got great board members and, officers, and just a little shout out to all of them. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's we need more members. So anyone wants to, it's on Facebook, Kiwanis of Southern Dutchess County. You could reach me there. You could also see my my Creative with Love Boutique on Facebook, and also creativewithloveboutique.com. So I combine everything together to do all these events.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll have all the links and information in the description of this episode, so you guys don't have to go too far. It's going to be all in one place, and you can check out all of Toni's stuff. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking with Toni Cesiro, the creator of Creative with Love Boutique, also the president of the Kiwanis Club of Southern Dutchess, and just talking about bringing together her love of music along with the love of community and helping businesses and everything along those lines. And I think that's great. And one of the things you were talking about, the Kiwanis Club, I wasn't familiar with the name, the Kiwanis Club, a second ago, but you asked me about all these different subsects about it. It's like, oh, I know that. So for those who are unfamiliar, like I was at first, could you tell us a little bit more of like these subsects of it and where it resides within our community in ways that people may not have known?
So the Kiwanis Club is national and global, and we have all different levels. Again, coming from Long Island, Kiwanis is huge on Long Island. New York has over 300 clubs.
Wow.
But for some reason, the Dutchess County area, from what I understand, they had a Kiwanis Club, or Hopewell Junction had a Kiwanis Club in 1964. So then it kind of fell by the wayside. And when I started my business, I actually had some of the head honchos from Kiwanis saying, "Where's your Kiwanis Club?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good question." But there wasn't any in Beacon, Fishkill, Wappingers. So we created the Southern Dutchess County one, and that encompasses all of the surrounding towns. There is one Poughkeepsie, and there's also Kiwanis of the Christian churches, but our club has been in existence for at least 6 years, and we pulled it all through COVID, and
Yeah.
we helped families through COVID. We've also adopted families at Christmas time. And so, speaking of the rocker in me, there was one one child that wrote, they made a Christmas list of what they wanted.
Yeah.
So there was this little boy, 12-year-old boy, who wanted an Elvis Presley T-shirt, but
wow.
also an Ozzy Osbourne T-shirt. So I'm like, I want him. I want to get his stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that 12-year-old was 6'2", and
Oh my God.
when I met him, I was like, oh.
You're a basketball player, aren't you? Hello.
But it was so amazing. We just helped the children and special needs or not special. I mean, let's face it, every kid needs
something. Yeah.
And I taught children my whole life. I taught dance to children.
Yeah.
So I just literally brought all my worlds together. In fact, when I taught the children, I used rock and roll music on the recitals that the parents would be like, "Oh, thank God, that was such a cool song." If they had to sit through like one more,
Exactly.
Like, I point my toe and tap tap tap.
Some of the stuff I've done sound for some dance recitals, and don't get me wrong, they're lovely.
We love the classical stuff,
but they can be very long days.
But when you crank out a Billy Joel song with tap shoes or
Yep.
whatever, it just wakes up the audience, and it was great. So like I said, I've been blessed to bring all my worlds together.
Yeah.
And just do it,
Absolutely. It's funny you also mentioned about bringing out the rock songs. I did a ballet class in college, just a semester. It was for my phys ed
Nice.
requirement, and it was great. First of all, I was the only guy in there, so I actually did meet a future girlfriend there, that was fun.
Yeah.
But we one of the songs that we would stretch to was Open Arms by Journey. It was just a piano rendition, but I was the only one in the room that knew the song. And I'm like, this is great. And not even the teacher realized what she was playing.
Right.
She just had like a list of all these piano tracks that we would warm up to. And it was like, oh yeah, Open Arms, Journey. Oh my God. And she's like, oh, that's what it is. It's like,
I remember teaching an 8-year-old class. I think it was a jazz class. What I Like About You, and the
Nice.
kids never heard about it. Never heard the song, but their parents were like, "Yes, great song."
Yup. I remember one of the earliest talent shows I ever did. There was this girl that tap danced to Black Betty.
Oh, nice.
It was good. It was really
Yeah.
good. But it was just like so out of left field
Yeah.
for everything that was
Yeah.
going on at that talent show. But the fact that I still remember it, I think I was like, 7 maybe?
Yeah.
But like, trust me, I don't remember anything else that happened that talent show. But I remember that performance. And
I
it's,
always
try
try to think outside the box in
Yes.
whatever I do.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just so important. People get stuck in doing the same thing every day, But of course you have to, if you work a certain job. But when you get the opportunity, just step outside your comfort zone, think outside the box. Put on some rock and roll and
just get going.
It works.
Now, so we only have a few more minutes here on the show, and one of the things that I really want to highlight is you really have lived so many lives, and you have done so many different things. And I know you've touched upon it already. Just go off and do it. But for those who are hesitant of starting that job or starting that hobby or creating that second life and reinventing themselves, what would you say out of your experience is some of the best advice that you've had as you've done it yourself?
I never really, honestly, put too much thought. Well, if I do this, it might not happen. I'm not a worrier.
Yeah.
I just do it. Even like crafting a table that I really don't even know how to do.
Yeah.
I figure out how to do it. If it falls apart, it falls apart, and try again.
Yep.
With the guitar strings, I mean, it's out there, Of course, mine is completely different and much cooler than what you find on Google.
Honestly, they're great. I gave a bracelet that you gave me to my girlfriend. She's worn them to a few concerts now.
All right, I'll bring out my Allison Steele. That would be Created with Love Boutique.com. But anyway, you see,
Love
just
it.
go,
Exactly.
just do it.
Just do it.
No, okay, that's the Fran Drescher coming out. But anyway, it was trial and error. It was trial and error. And when you create something that you don't think you can do, or when you step outside the box, or you step outside the comfort zone, and then it's successful.
Yeah.
There's nothing more rewarding than that feeling. sitting here in the studio, I've never done radio before. Maybe I dabbled a little bit in it, but you just do it.
Yeah.
We could erase the whole thing,
Now this is going up.
But I love that whoever's listening, I love, call me up, hit me up on Facebook, whatever. I love sharing advice. I love sharing my experiences. You can't fail. There's no such thing as failing. There really isn't.
It's just getting the experience and going from there.
Getting back up and doing it again, or a little inspiration goes a long, long way.
It really does. Absolutely. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. Speaking with Toni Cesiro, the founder of Created with Love Boutique and also the president of the Kiwanis Club of Southern Dutchess. This has been a really great episode, and just like all the different lives that you had, there's just so many different perspectives.
9 lives. Yeah.
I love that. And of course, everybody can find more about Created with Love and the Kiwanis Club online. Of course, we can have those all in the description of this episode. But if people want to hit you up directly, is there any great way to get through to you?
CreatedWithLoveBoutique.com. You can contact me there. There's a chat box there. If you look at anything you're trying to order and you have a question, there's a chat box. I get back to you right away. I'm on Facebook, Created with Love Boutique. Instagram is Toni, Created with Love Boutique. And the Kiwanis of Southern Dutchess County also has a Facebook page. I run that too. So I'm behind that box also. Created with Love Boutique 224 at Gmail. And there you go.
Beautiful. Nice, simple, straightforward.
It's
and
awesome. I hope I hear from some of your listeners. It would be great.
I hope so, too. One of the best things about In Touch is when people hit me up and say, oh, I got this message afterwards, or we got this sponsor afterwards, or we got X amount of donors, or X amount of volunteers, stuff like that. So you never know what kind of connection.
It's all about the networking and making the connections.
Honestly, I love this network that we've been able to create here with In Touch, and so glad to have you officially into it.
To know about this and get it out there,
big time. So we'll see what happens.
All right,
Toni. Again, thank you so much for being here on In Touch.
Thank you so very much.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Toni Cesiro. For more on Created with Love Boutique, visit createdwithloveboutique.com. You can also email Toni at createdwithloveboutique224 at gmail.com or like and follow on Facebook at facebook.com/createdwithloveboutique. For more on the Kiwanis Club of Southern Dutchess County, visit facebook.com/KiwanisSDC. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. Whether you've been listening for a while or you just joined us, thank you. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Townsquare radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. I've been your host, Conor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time